Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting day. Since February of this year, I have been trying to get the Hanayama UFO puzzle, and every time I've gone to buy it, it's been sold out in every single place I've looked. Until yesterday, where I ordered it online and it has been delivered today, and we are wasting no time in trying or attempting to solve the UFO puzzle. It is the newest Hanayama puzzle as of right now. There is actually a new Hanayama releasing this month in June 2019. So as always, we are going to attempt to disassemble the puzzle, then we're going to attempt to reassemble it, and then at the end we are going to rank it on our easiest to hardest Hanayama puzzles done so far. So without further ado, let's attempt to solve the UFO puzzle. Okay, so here is the UFO puzzle. Now, in my excitement, actually, I forgot to say what difficulty rating this one is. So as you can see, 4 stars out of a possible 6 on Hanayama's rating. And this is what we're aiming for. So there's 4 bits in the middle, quite obviously, 2 bits on the outside. I think this is the bit with the most pieces, or the puzzle with the most pieces that I've solved. I might be wrong on that, but off the top of my head I can't think of one that has 6 or more. And here it usually gives you like a tip of some sort. So here we've got this uniquely shaped puzzle, really does look like a UFO. The spheroidal, I think I've got that right, spheroidal pieces in the center may slip and slide away when you try to remove them, which makes finding the solution quite tricky. Awesome, right, so let's get to it. So first things first, these 4 things move quite interestingly. And we've almost opened up a space there. These spin around each other that way. Can we then spin this way? We can. How then? Looking at these, they all look roughly the same, because essentially, like what I'm thinking right now is like, where's that square gone in terms of its area? Like, but it must be that the actual puzzle, the actual sphere, so it has gotten bigger, has just expanded a little bit, and that's what allows that square to open. So there's like a ledge. I'm not sure if you can see this, but you can see that ledge, and that's attached to this bit here, and it sort of goes diagonally that way. This bit here, similar thing, we've got, I like how that opens up. Similar here, we've got a ledge here that's sort of going that way, which is actually a part of the same piece. Ooh, that's interesting. So this piece here has 2 ledges that are sliding off it. I'm guessing that is going to be important for the solution. Now, for solutions, it would be cool if the UFO puzzle solved from a spin. I imagine it's not going to, but that opened up the square quite nicely. I'm fairly sure it'll probably spin for a long time. Yeah, it sounds like a fidget spinner. Wow, that looks cool. But I'm fairly sure it's not going to solve that way. So, what are we going to do? So this looks quite similar to the dial puzzle, actually. So the dial has a moving bit on the inside and 2 bits on sort of like its shell on the outside. And that solved where you had to line up sort of 2 bits sort of. So I'm guessing looking at these 2 pieces here, like I'm looking at this, how these connect here, they must pull apart this way. Now thinking about that, we've got to then have these 2 things, or 2 of these lined up sort of on halfway. So, like to there. So we've already got quite a bit of movement there. And again, that's very, very similar to the dial puzzle, actually. Do we get any more movement there? That's brilliant. So we could see the other half already. And again, very, very similar to the dial puzzle. What I don't want to forget about is that one of these pieces has those 2 ledges on, which tells me that one piece, which is this piece here, is going to have to be in a certain place. See, for instance, here it's not opened quite as far as it did before. Now maybe we just didn't have it lined up, or maybe if we just rotate it this way. See, that separates a little bit further. Interesting. So let's try each way. So what I'm trying now is different combinations of getting them lined up laterally. Because these can move sort of this way and this way, it means we've got I'm not sure how many off the top of my head, I'd have to work it out. It means we've got a few combinations of arrangement, if you like. So we can sort of do it this way, we can rotate them like around this way. We can also sort of swap sides, like there or like there. So it means there's a lot of different variation for which bits can be lined up. So what I think is that there's only one where we get all the way off. So, with good old trial and error, I think we're going to go through them all, or an attempt to sort of monitor which ones we've done and which ones we haven't done. I think that's going to be the real challenge. So we've done this one. Now I also want to keep the bit with the ledges, which I think is this bit, but I can check that. Yes, it is. I want to keep that bit at this bottom left position from where I'm looking at it right now. That bit feels the loosest it's been. Oh, it's come apart the most so far. Well, that was a long, boring process, but I think I tried everyone. I should probably have done it with a pen and paper or something like that so I could track which positions I did, but I think I tried them all and none of them seem to get any further than this position here. So maybe that's not the solution. This piece here has got to have something to do with it, because that piece has both sort of ledges on, if you like. I'm trying to look inside for try and get some inspiration, some clue to how this one solves. I can see corners and I can see edges, but I don't know what any of it means. Each bit looks different on the inside. This one seems to have like a smooth face. This one obviously has that sort of angle going this direction. And the other two you can sort of see, like this one almost looks a little bit hollow, and that one looks like it's got something sort of facing this way. But that could be a reflection of something else. Oh, yeah. So this is interesting. So if you look at these pieces here, so I'm pushing on the bottom. What you can see here is when I push this top right one, quite a bit of space. And I push these other ones, they don't really move, or they don't move independently. This one's got a lot more movement in it. If you look on the inside, then this bit seems quite hollow. See, that's interesting. So now I moved these around, so if you look here, this is the bit that seemed looser. It's now, I know it's hard to sort of gauge this on camera, but that's not as loose as it was when we flipped it around to this side. So as soon as those overlapped, then you could sort of sense how much more movement it had. That one's got more movement there. So again, playing around with the positions, there is one, I think it's this position, where there's just simply more movement in that piece there. Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Can that piece... Oof. Okay. what if instead of pulling this apart and all 6 pieces separating at the same time, what if that piece, maybe not that piece specific, it seems likely that it would be that piece, what if that comes out of this hole or this hole? Oh my gosh. Now, if that were to happen, it would have to be hollow on the inside, because when it was here, there wouldn't be space for it to slide out. So, is that bit, this bit here that's got more movement in it, is that bit hollow on the inside? Now, it must be in a sense, because this is the bit with the slant here, so it has to be hollow at least to the size of that slant, because otherwise those two bits wouldn't go together. Okay, well, if it is that, then this is a super clever puzzle. See, one of the problems I'm having is, if that is the solution, if this is where it comes out, or one of the pieces comes out, the issue is when it's in the right position, you can't push from that side, if that makes sense. See, when it's there, when you sort of want it to come over that lip, you can't see it on this side. Can't see it. Just an idea, maybe we just use gravity. So here's what I'm thinking at the minute. First of all, the bit that comes out, if this is right, I've just spent half an hour trying to figure out, sort of separate it this way, and that was wrong, so this is second line of inquiry. If this is right, then it can't be this bit that comes out first, because that's the bit with the ledges on. So it's impossible for it to be that bit. Regardless of whether this scenario is correct, this bit does not come out first. But the issue is, all these 3 bits can be in all 3 different locations, if you like. So what we've got is a lot of variety of positions now. Again, I think it's going to have to be a trial and error method for this one. Oh, I don't understand. What's going on the inside of here? You keep getting to a point, like, you can't really see it because I'm using gravity, but you get to a point where, like, let's say this corner here catches on here, and again, because I can't see this piece up here, I want to push it, but I can't. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we're catching on the edge. Oh, please come out. Come on. Oh man. Oh, yes. We finally got it over that edge. Oh, yes, that. Oh, that feels good. For 2 reasons. I've been trying to do it for ages. Reason number 1. Reason number 2, my theory was right. It did come out of this hole. Now, well, we've got one bit out, I'm sort of getting ahead of myself and thinking we've solved it, but I'm fairly confident that we've just done it. See, it's just, yeah, see, you can't see it yet, but let's just get these bits out first. I hope it's easier to put back together, because this is very fiddly. I'm trying to do it the same way I got the other bit out, which was when they were all in this position. But when you try and do that, slips. Surely I can get that bit out now. Come on. Yes, bit number 2 and bit number 3. Oh, does this bit not come out? Of course it does. Oh, bit number 4, and then these 2 pieces slide apart. Oh, that was amazing. That was brilliant. Really enjoyed that one. So before we put it back together, what I have just noticed actually is that these are all numbered. Now, there is a number 2 just in there, and there is a number 2 just in there. In here, there is a number 1, and that is the piece that comes out first, and in here, there is a number 3, which is interesting. Now, looking at the shape of these, I mentioned it just then, these are like, yeah, so these have one high side, one low side. Now, I'm guessing we have to have the 2 high sides on either side of the number 3 piece. And what that allows then, I'm guessing, is this number 1 piece, when we're in this sort of sphere, when we're in this position with the high pieces sort of covered by the number 3 bit, this number 1 piece is then free to move up and down and to slide out like it did. Now, the number of sort of options for how these 4 pieces are arranged on the inside is, it must be loads. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm quite tired right now. This has been a very draining puzzle to solve, but the possibilities for it now that I've sort of seen how it works, I think it's going to be fairly simple putting it back together. But how you actually come up with a logical way of solving this puzzle is going to be interesting to find out for when we do the solution video for this. So let's crack on with putting each bit back in. Now I'm assuming that number 3 has to go in first, and then we're going to have to rearrange these bits in a way that this number 1 piece can then slide in easily. So let's see how we get on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, not that difficult to do when you can see it. But that puzzle, that is a thing of beauty. This, the UFO, I think, is one of my favourites. Now we'll discuss how hard it is in comparison to the others that we've done so far in a second. But that UFO puzzle, that is brilliant, and we've done it. Wow, that was so much harder than I expected. So much harder. Whoever rated that a level 4 out of 6 stars for Hanayama just needs shooting or something, because there's no way that's level 4. That was, in my opinion, that's the 5-6. I mean, that's one of the toughest ones I've done from Hanayama by far, and we will decide how hard in comparison to the other ones that we've done in a second. Now, starting off, I've no idea how long it took in total. I know I was very, very tired when I actually finally got it apart, but I started off probably the first half of it trying to solve it similar to how the dial puzzle solves. Get them in the right position and sort of slide apart, and each half, like the dome, if you like, the sphere bit, each half then just comes apart with the top and bottom half of the actual sort of shell of the UFO. That was not the solution. It teased you as well because there were certain parts where it came a little bit further apart, so it's like, oh okay, so it must be the combination of the 2 bits on each side, and you've got to get that right order on with the 4 sort of parts of the sphere. Which was correct in a sense because those 4 parts had to be in the right place for the actual solution, for that first bit coming out. But you're completely blind to which bit is in the right position, which makes it incredibly hard when you don't. I imagine if I tried doing it again now, knowing how it solves, it's going to take me nowhere near as long, but it's not going to be a simple solution because there's. Maybe you can see in that little square that you can create, and maybe you can spot, okay, that bit needs to be there, that bit needs to be there. But it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, and I don't think it's intended for you to be able to do that. So you're solving it blind almost, even when you know the solution. Once you've taken it apart though, it is very, very simple to put back together once you understand, or you can see and understand how it works. It's very impressive. The design is genius. How people come up with this sort of puzzle is absolutely beyond me. I've struggled to solve it, let alone creating it in the first place. Now, where does the UFO puzzle rank? Now, as soon as I'd solved it, by solve it I mean take it apart. As soon as I'd taken it apart, I was thinking, right, this is definitely top 3. Probably number 2 behind the hourglass. I still think the hourglass is the tougher of all of the puzzles that we've done, but I was thinking, right, this UFO puzzle is definitely harder than the vortex puzzle as well, because you can see the whole thing of the vortex. You can understand when you are making progress on that one and when it's coming apart, because it becomes less of a shell and becomes more separated. However, when you then reassemble the UFO puzzle, I mean, it literally took 2 minutes, something like that. It was very, very quick to reassemble. But the vortex, on the other hand, takes almost as long to put it back together as it does to take it apart. And taking that into consideration, the UFO isn't going to sit in second place as I thought it would after we'd taken it apart. The question is, how far down the ladder does it go? Is the UFO puzzle harder or easier than the 3rd place puzzle, which is the level 6 quartet? Now again, immediately after disassembling it, I'd be like, yes, 100% it is harder than the quartet. The reassembly is much, much easier. Ooh, but it's not on the quartet. The quartet reassembly is tough, as well as taking it apart in the first place. But I think the fact that I spent half my time trying to separate it and pull it out with the sphere in the shell pieces for about an hour, I think, something like that. I think that red herring side to the UFO puzzle is gonna give it a spot in the top 3. In 3rd position, above the quartet puzzle and just below the vortex puzzle. So we have broken the level 6 dominance, which you would expect, with a level 4 puzzle now being in the top 3. Who'd have thought it? Now maybe some people sort of realise the solution straight away, alright, it's got to come out of the hole, and maybe it was a rearranging thing and then just getting the right piece. Maybe I was just sent down the wrong route, and yeah, I've sort of paid the price in thinking this puzzle is harder than it actually is. But now that I've done this puzzle, I can now watch other people's videos, see what they thought of the puzzle, see if they fell into the same trap that I did, see if how long it took them to figure it out. So that's it. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle through the UFO puzzle. If you did, and you want to see me solve some more puzzles and the step-by-step solutions for all of these puzzles, then subscribe by clicking my face here. You can check out some of those videos just there. Let me know what you thought of the UFO puzzle in the comments below. I'm very intrigued or interested to see what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace!